Talks with Ramana Maharshi. Talk 57. First, here are some of the Sanskrit terms that appear often and whose English translations are long phrases. They are as follows. Sushumna, very gracious or kind spiritual channel. Atman, the self to be realized. Jnani, a self-realized sage abiding in perfect happiness and peace. Siddha, a Jnani who may display supernatural powers. Vasanas, deeply ingrained mental tendencies. Shravana, devoted attention to the Guru's teachings. Manana, mental reflection and deep contemplation. Nididhyasana, one-pointedness. Now, Talk 57. First, Ramana Maharshi talked a little about spiritual channels in the human body. He said that the Sushumna is mentioned the most in the scriptures. There are also the other channel names such as Supreme, Self, and Immortal channels. It is also said that the Sushumna channel merges in the Supreme channel. Therefore, we can take the Supreme channel to relate to self-realization and the Sushumna channel to relate to yoga, the practice of merging in the self. Then he also cleared some doubts about a few verses in Ramana Gita. Ramana Gita, chapter 14, stanza 10 reads as follows. With yet further progress, invisibility also may result. Such a one, being pure consciousness only, flourishes as a Siddha. Ramana Gita, chapter 18, last stanza reads as follows. The glory of the Siddhis is past imagination. They are equal to Shiva, yes, Shiva himself, in being able to grant boons. The first doubt was about the difference between a Jnani, a self-realized sage, and a Siddha, a self-realized sage who may use supernatural powers such as invisibility and so on. Maharishi explained that the meaning is that with self-realization, real and incessant penance results. With the maturing of such penance, some jnanis can make their bodies intangible and invisible. They are known as Siddhas. Later, Sri Bhagavan said, the greatness of the Siddhas is incomprehensible. They are equal to Shiva and can even grant boons. The second doubt in Ramana Gita was about the capability of a Jnani and a Siddha to grant boons. In a verse in Ramana Gita, it is mentioned that a Siddha can grant boons, but there is a Upanishad mantra that says, one desirous of liberation or wealth must serve a Jnani, a self-realized sage. Here, there is no mention of Siddha for granting boons. The Jnani can do so. The mantras again, Swamahimni Pratishtitaha, that is, abiding in his own grandeur, and Anantam Brahma, that is, Brahman is infinite, will seem confounding when read with the slokas of Ramana Gita cited before. The mantras Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that is, all this is Brahma, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, that is, the knower of Brahma becomes Brahma itself, show that a Jnani is Sarvajna, all-knower. What then is the distinction between the Jnani and the Siddha, and the ability of the latter to grant boons, implying the absence of it in the former? So, the doubt is, what then is the distinction between the Jnani and the Siddha in granting boons? The Master explained as follows. The Ramana Gita questions were asked in a certain spirit. The answers were according to it. People look to the body only, and so they want siddhis, supernatural powers. With self-realization, no powers can extend even into it, and how can they extend beyond? People are anxious for siddhis and are not content with their idea of jnana, self-realization, and so they want siddhis associated with it. They are likely to neglect the supreme happiness of jnana and aspire for siddhis. For this, they are going through the by-lanes instead of the royal path, and so will likely lose their way. In order to guide them in the right way and keep them on the royal road alone, the siddhis are said to accompany jnana. In fact, jnana comprises all, and a jnani will not waste even a single thought on them. Let the people get jnana and then seek siddhis if they so desire. I have said Sharira Samshraya Siddhaya, that is, the siddhis relate to the body because the outlook of people is concerning the body. Actually, a jnani and a siddha are not different. In the words varan datum, that is, to bestow boons, the boons include atma labha also, that is, the gain of the self also. In this case, the siddhis are not merely of an inferior order, but of the highest order. The scriptures also are meant to suit varying conditions, but their spirit remains the same. In Halasya Mahima, there is a chapter on the eightfold siddhis. There, Shiva says that his bhakta never wastes a thought on them. Again, Shiva says that he never grants boons, and that the desires of the devotees are fulfilled according to their prarabdha only, that is, destiny only. When Ishvara himself says so, what of others? In order to display siddhis, there must be others to recognize them. That means there is no jnana in the one who displays them. Therefore, siddhis are not worthy of any thought. Jnana alone is to be aimed at and gained. Thus the Maharishi explained. The third doubt pertaining to Ramana Gita was about rising and subsiding thoughts. In one stanza of the Ramana Gita, the question was, during practice of inner quest, the thoughts are found to manifest and subside alternately. Is this jnana, self-realization? Maharishi explained as follows. Some people think that there are different stages in jnana. They argue thus. The self is ever realized nitya aparoksha, whether one knows it or not. They argue that Shravana should therefore be aparoksha jnana, directly experienced, direct knowledge, and not paroksha jnana, indirect knowledge. But jnana should result in dukkha nivritti, loss of misery, whereas Shravana alone does not bring it about. Therefore, they say that even though it is direct knowledge, it is not steady and unshaken. They say that the rising of the vasanas is the cause of its being weak, that is, not unchanging. When the vasanas are removed, jnana becomes unshaken and bears fruit. Others say that Shravana is only indirect knowledge, but by manana it becomes direct self-knowledge, but only spasmodically. The obstruction to its continuity is the vasanas, which rise up with reinforced vigor after manana. These vasanas must be held in check. Such vigilance consists in remembering I am not the body and adhering to the direct experience which was attained after manana. Such practice is called nididhyasana, one-pointedness, the cultivation of steady poise in the self, which eradicates the vasanas. And then dawns the sahaja state, which is always abiding in the self, even in the midst of objects and activities. This is the sure, definite jnana, direct knowledge or self-realization. They say that the direct knowledge in manana cannot result in loss of misery and cannot amount to moksha, release from bondage, because the vasanas periodically overpower the knowledge gained. Therefore, the knowledge gained is weak. It becomes firm after the vasanas have been eradicated by nididhyasana, one-pointedness. Thus, the doubts about Ramana Gita were explained and clarified. Later, a devotee asked about chakras, centers of spiritual power in the human body. The Maharishi said, Atman, the self, alone is to be realized. Its realization holds all else in its compass. Shakti, Ganapati, Siddhis, and so on are included in it. Those who speak of these have not realized the Atman. Atman is in the spiritual heart and is the heart itself. The manifestation is in the brain. The passage from the heart to the brain might be considered to be through the Sushumna channel or a channel with any other name. The Upanishads say Pare Lina, meaning that all the channels are comprised in the supreme self-channel, the Atmanadi. The yogis say that the current rising up to the brain, Sahasrara, ends there. But that experience is not complete. For jnana, self-realization, they must come to the Hridaya, the spiritual heart. Hridaya, heart, is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.